Welcome to one of the fastest growing sports YouTube channels out there, Gold and Blue Dude. And one thing I have realized, people do not want to hear something that scares them. It's getting ridiculous, guys. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's me again, Gold and Blue Dude. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. I do college football videos every single day. So I've been doing this YouTube channel for about 2 years now, and I do videos every single day. And one big thing that I've learned is people do not want to hear something that scares them, but is a real possibility it could happen. Even this specific college football season, Oregon could beat Ohio State. No, Gold and Blue Dude, don't say that. Clemson could miss the playoffs. It's a possibility. But don't say it. No, that's not true. Not even possible. The SEC could put 2 teams in the playoffs this year again. Yes, very possible. But you don't want to hear it. Even my own fan base gets mad at me. West Virginia could miss a bowl this year. We lost to Maryland. I had us beating Maryland. That was a bad loss. It's a real possibility. West Virginia could miss a bowl this year. I don't like to think about it, but it's the truth. The Big 12 could lose its Power 5 status. Yes, it could. Losing Oklahoma and Texas is a big deal. I know the Big 12 gets Cincinnati, UCF, Houston, and BYU, but that doesn't mean that makes up for the star power of Oklahoma and Texas. I'm telling you. The Pac-12 could make the playoffs with Oregon. The rest of the Power 5 conferences don't want to hear that because that would knock them out of the playoffs. But it's true. Oregon could make the playoffs. Penn State could win the Big 10 this year. Ohio State fans definitely don't want to hear that. But you looked really bad against Oregon. Terrible defense. Speaking of Ohio State, you guys could end up with 2 or more losses this year, which I predicted. You didn't want to hear it. And I actually had you beating Oregon. Now all you have to do is lose 1 more game, and that prediction is true. Oh, one of my favorite predictions. I predicted Stanford to beat USC. Trojan fans were like, no, there's no way. Even everybody was calling me a moron. Guess what? It happened. I knew Stanford was a better team than what we saw against Kansas State, and USC was due for a letdown game. But people didn't want to hear it. Urban Meyer might coach in college football again. That is a real possibility that some people don't want to hear. LSU fans had a lot of high expectations this year, but the reality is LSU might be bad again this year. I don't even like to think about this one. The SEC is taking over college football, but it's true. They pretty much own college football at this point. What about this one? Nobody will be able to beat Alabama again. And by the way they're looking, that looks to be the truth, guys. I called this one the minute it happened. Florida wasted their money when they extended Dan Mullen. And this year will definitely, well, last year proved it. This year will prove it even more. Florida fans, that was the wrong decision. And part of that is I think Kentucky will finish second in the SEC East. Florida fans definitely don't want to hear that, but I think that's going to happen. The last one, my favorite one, Texas is not back. Texas fans were convinced that Texas is back this year. Steve Sarkisian is the savior. Tom Herman was a bum, even though I think he had Texas headed in the right direction. Booted him and said Steve Sarkisian will save the day. What happens? You go on the road to a bottom feeder of the SEC West in Arkansas and get your butts handed to you on a silver platter. You're not back. And all that ties into today's video that I did earlier in the day. Yeah, this is my second video of the day. And I was talking about the coaching candidates for USC. I gave several honorable mentions, but then I gave an actual list of actual possibilities. Oh, people did not like it. I mentioned Mario Cristobal. Oregon fans, even though it would be a pay raise, he's worked too hard to build what he has at Oregon. Why would he leave? Well, it's simple. Money. Am I saying it's going to happen? No. But it could. Brent Venables, the defensive coordinator at Clemson. Look, I know he said he doesn't want to leave Clemson and go for a head coaching job, but people change their mind. It could happen. Ryan Day at Ohio State. I know it's far-fetched, but you just never know these things. Brian Kelly at Notre Dame. This one surprised me. Some Notre Dames want him gone, so I didn't get as much of a negative reaction from Notre Dame fans. That one surprised me. Chip Kelly at UCLA, nobody even really responded. Urban Meyer at Jacksonville. I don't even know if Jacksonville has any fans. Chris Peterson, retired. Bob Stoops, retired. But Oklahoma fans still defended him and said if he went over to USC, that would be a slap in his own face because he lost to them in the national championship. What? Nobody really cared about the Hugh Freeze mention. LSU fans said don't even mention Bill Napier. We want him for when we get rid of Coach O. Okay, I didn't know that one. Stanford doesn't have hardly any fans, so David Shaw, nobody cared. Cincinnati fans did not like me mentioning that Luke Fickell was a candidate. No, he is not leaving Cincinnati. Do you realize how big of a pay raise he would get to USC? I know there's drama over there. He's not a California guy, whatever that means, but it's a possibility. A big one. Lincoln Riley leaving Oklahoma for USC. Pretty much the same argument. The pay gap a lot slimmer, so I do doubt that he would leave Oklahoma for USC, but still, you never know, guys. Tom Herman, well, he's retired and nobody liked him anyways. I thought that was actually a bad firing by Texas. I've already talked about Texas. Matt Campbell at Iowa State. Well, I've already been banned from Iowa State Facebook groups, so that one really didn't even matter. Bill O'Brien, the defensive coordinator at Alabama. Alabama fans yawn because they can just replace anybody. And then James Franklin at Penn State. This one surprised me because last year, Penn State fans were talking trash about him. We need to get rid of him because y'all were having one bad season, even though he went 9-4 and 9-4 at Vanderbilt, and then double-digit win seasons. Other than last year, he's a terrible coach. All of a sudden, I mentioned his name as a possible coaching candidate at USC. No, he loves it here at Penn State. He needs to stay. He's building something here. My gosh, y'all flip-flop so much. So no, I was not expecting Penn State fans to actually defend James Franklin after last year they were calling for his head on a silver platter. Make up your minds. Do you think he's a good coach or do you think he's a bad coach? See, that's what I love about college football. The knee-jerk reactions about every little thing and hearing things you don't want to hear. So telling people to shut up, don't say anything because I don't want to hear it. So people were firing at Golden Blue Dude and I decided to fire back with this video. And your coach that you don't want to hear doesn't mean it's not true and that it can't happen. That's all I got for you for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you on my next show.